Imagine dedicating your whole life to be number one in your sport, training nearly every single day, putting your body through aches and pains. Becoming the world champion is on your mind 24/7. You're driving to meets, winning and advancing slowly until eventually all the right pieces align. You're on fire, winning back to back to back. You even run the fastest time in the world for your event this year. Becoming a world champion seems closer than ever before. You can almost feel the weight of the world champion gold medal around your neck. Then the time finally arrives. This feels like your dream coming into reality in the most perfect way possible. It's the first time the US hosts the World Championships, and it's being hosted by your university. This is in your territory. You fight your way through the elimination rounds and make it to the World Championship Finals, but because of one rule, your dreams are shattered in the blink of an eye, forcing you to watch the race from the locker room and wonder for the rest of your life, what if? Sadly, this is the story of Devin Allen's World Championship race, and the question is, was he robbed? What happened to Devin Allen in the World Championships was a disaster. But to understand just how devastating this situation truly is, we have to understand who he is. In college, he played football at the University of Oregon and ran track. In 2022, he accomplished something nearly every dual sport athlete dreams of. He signed to a professional NFL team and ran the fastest time in the world for his event in track this year. His 1284 is just 4/100ths of a second behind the world record that has been untouched for 10 years. By all means, 2022 was set up to be Devin Allen's year, and the only thing left was to claim his world championship gold medal in the same time where he developed into the athlete he is now. It was the perfect sports Hollywood movie in the making, where everything was coming full circle until one of the worst possible things occurred seconds before the final moment of glory. Devin Allen had his dreams snatched right out of his hands because his reaction was 1/1000th of a second faster than is legally allowed. If you're not familiar with track, let me explain. The World Athletics Organization has a rule that states if you react faster than a 10th of a second, it's considered a false start. So even though Devin Allen started after the gun and appears to have a normal reaction through the naked eye, because of this rule, Devin Allen was disqualified and removed from the track, unable to at the very least run and see what his time could possibly be. A real unfortunate series of events that without a question will leave a scar. So did he guess the gun, or was he punished for being too fast? In the semis, Devin Allen's reaction time was 0.101, super close to the false start limit, just 1/1000th of a second after. Maybe he just has a fast reaction and was punished for it, while some might argue that he was guessing the gun and simply got lucky that he didn't false start in the semis. Historically, this isn't the first time the false start rule snatches a track athlete out of a major race. It happened to other star athletes inside the same World Championships. It happened to Hughes on the biggest sports stage in the world, the 100-meter Olympic finals, and it even happened to Usain Bolt. Yeah, he was not too happy about it either. What's funny is that the World Athletics Organization responsible for this rule actually conducted a study to determine whether the 100 milliseconds limit is correct. They called it the Sprint Start Research Project. They reported that according to science, reaction time during a sprint start can be less than 100 milliseconds, even when you take into account the time it takes sound to travel, be processed, and the neuromuscular system to respond. They recommend that the World Athletics lower the 100 milliseconds limit to 80 or 85 milliseconds. Can you guess when that study was conducted? 2009. And they're well aware of these findings because it's even published on their site directly. How ironic. The general consensus online seems to be that this rule should be updated. Some argue that there should be a yellow card for a reaction time between 95 and 99 instead of an immediate disqualification, while others argue there shouldn't even be a rule that gets you disqualified after the gun goes off. Going on to say that if some get a bit lucky guessing, it's a risk they should be able to take. Some are even saying that we should get rid of the sensors altogether. But the opposing side in favor of the rule has their arguments as well, specifically regarding the automatic disqualification. They argue that without this rule, athletes could be delayed, running 25 minutes after the scheduled race time, and that this has already been analyzed extensively, ultimately arriving at the conclusion that giving athletes multiple chances leads to delays and other negative consequences. Another one of the biggest arguments in favor of the false start rule is this: athletes respect the photo finish and therefore should respect the DQ of a false start, because if 0.001 second matters at the finish line, then it should matter at the start. After hearing these different arguments, what do you think about this false start rule? Should it be changed or should it stay the same? It's no wonder that Devin Allen is shifting his focus to football. At the end of the day, Devin Allen is still one of the greatest 110-meter hurdlers of all time. He's the third fastest man ever in his event, signed a contract that's going to pay him way more than track, and likely still has the world record in him waiting to be unleashed. Now, if you want to see the story behind Shelly-Ann Fraser and how close she has gotten to breaking the 100-meter world record, click here to watch that next.